almost 7 months removed from their first round playoff series in the South last year. They meet once again at the Inares Sports Arena in Pasig City, and a lot of promise and a lot of hype from Mindoro's JC Recto, the collegiate standout from Mapua, and he'll go up against a former champion veteran Will Macaloni, who hopes to steer Quezon to the promised land. It's a battle, a duel in the South between the Mindoro Tamaraws and the Quezon Huskers. Welcome to the 8th season of the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Ken Pangilinan, kasama si Coach Mike Perez at courtside we have Gianna Llanes. And Coach Mike, etong dalawang kupunan na ito, nais na magkaroon ng breakthrough. Itong Mindoro having their first playoff appearance last year. Ang Quezon naman, after falling short back-to-back in the national finals, gusto nang makuha yung kampyonato para sa kanilang kupunan.
Oh, I think may importante ito para dito sa dalawang teams because this is a good test of where they eventually would, head into, especially early in the season. A couple of things that really went well for Mindoro and for Quezon. You want to test that eventually in this game.
Despite Quezon being the #1 seed and Mindoro the lower seed at number 8, napakadikit nung naging series nila, no? Despite Quezon sweeping Mindoro 2-0 here in the series.
Oo, ito yung may game na merong overtime na, it was pretty close in that game. Everybody was kind of on the fence on whether this was going to be Quezon or Mindoro, but eventually Quezon moving on in that playoff game.
At wag niyong kalimutan na mag-subscribe sa ating official MPBL YouTube channel. We're also live on Solar Sports and on Tap Sports. Mindoro, the number 8 seed last season. In their previous game, they went up against another South contender in the Gensan Warriors. Dikit yung laban in the first quarter. But come the next quarter, Coach Mike, a lot of turnovers on their side, which was the demise as Gensan winning this one 87-70.
Oh, matter of fact, yung first quarter niyan, they really just went on a big scoring run, 6 points in that quarter. But after that, man, that -16 output in the second quarter, really pretty much habol all the way para dito sa Mindoro. Overall, it really is because of yung field goals and yung bench points na maganda nangyayari sa kanila. Pero you see the turnovers right there. The assist to turnover ratio is very low right now para dito sa Mindoro, and that is something I'm sure itong Mindoro coaching staff is trying to address, especially as they go up against the Quezon Huskers.
Kagulo talaga sa South Division, Coach Mike. Dahil pag pinuntahan natin itong Quezon Huskers, ang nakalaban nila yung Binyan Tatak Gel. And in that last game, it was a rematch of the South Division Finals. Quezon had a hard time breaking out despite Binyan shooting poorly from the field. But then, come the fourth quarter, this was where they delivered and held off Binyan 66-59.
Yeah, shooting the ball very well. And one of their strengths really this season, if you look at the way that they played against Binyan, is really their assist percentage, 92%. You see 23 assists, 92% of their makes or their field goal makes have actually been assisted. And then you see that the steals and the turnovers that they forced, because primarily, in my opinion, going up against Binyan and showing a lot of defensive stuff executed very well for them, tells us that this is a highly defensive version of a Quezon Huskers we're gonna see this season.
Magandang duelo sa South Division. It's the Mindoro Tamaraws squaring off against the two-time South Division champions, the Quezon Huskers. Puntahan na natin si Miguel Perey para sa ating starting lineups.
And we are welcoming you once again here inside the Inares Sports Arena in Pasig City. Welcome to our second game between Mindoro and Quezon. This is the 2026 Manny PACQUIAO'S MPBL Season 8, live on Solar Sports, Tap Sports, and on YouTube channel. Let's make way for the starting fives, beginning with Mindoro Tamaraws. Starting at guard number 7, Checo Bancale. Also at guard number 12, JJ Caspe. At center number 10, Mark Montuano. Forward number 5, JC Recto. Also at forward number 6, Riego Bam Bam Gamalinda. The head coach for Mindoro is Benji Chodoro. Assistant coaches, Melo Banwa, Gab Malyari, and JC Lipunao. Assistant team manager, Sandra Norte. The team manager and team consultant is Buds Reyes. Team owner is Paula Oriental Mindoro. Honorable Mayor Jennifer Ina Alegre Cruz. Here comes the starting five for Quezon Huskers. Starting at forward, number 41, Joshua Yedo. Also at forward number 3, Mike Cañete. Playing center number 14, Will Macaloni. At guard number 2, Judel Puentes. Also at guard number 15, Cyrus the Righteous Tabi. The head coach for the Quezon Oscars is Eric Gonzalez. Assistant coaches Richie Tixon, Ed De La Torre, Luis Solasco, Jonathan De Guzman, Nash Rosella, Bernard De Guia, and Councilor Jeric Teng. Team manager.
Starting five brought to you by Sports Plus, the official sports book of the MPBL. Mindoro Tamaraos, starting off with Jego Bangkale, JJ Caspe, Mark Montuano, Bam Bam Gamalinda, and JC Recto. For the Quezon Oscars, Cyrus Rabi, Judel Fuentes, Will Macaloni, Mike Cañete, and Joshua Hierro. Our referees for this ball game are John Lester Arcega, Jay Francisco, and Alvin Sosonko. Fourth referee is Maki Kilingen. Mindoro in white, Quezon in black. Macaloni and Montuano will jump it up at center court. The Tamaraos win the tip. Jego Bangkale, he's gonna have an important role for Mindoro considering the high volume of turnovers they had in that loss against Jensen, Coach Mike.
Oh, and it's going to be very important for Jacob Bangkale because, you know, as a point guard, you're really expected to be taking care of the ball and be the last one to commit turnovers. And so with the ball a lot on his hands, he has to be better at taking care of that ball and, you know, lead them into, you know, their offensive executions on their end of the floor.
Curiously, for Mindoro, Marian Magat not part of that starting five. Macaloni makes his presence felt inside the paint. We are tied 2 apiece.
Well, defensively, isa yan sa mga kailangang asikasuhin rin itong Mindoro Tamaraos. This is a very strong and good roster team, if you ask me. You have JJ Caspe, you have JB De La Cruz, you have Mark Montuano in there. But again, in this game, they have to contend with the defense of the Quezon Huskers. You immediately feel Will Macaloni extending that defense out, but the good thing, Mark Montuano was able to hit that medium-range jumper.
Both teams yet to miss. Cyrus Tabi takes the 3 off the mark. JC Recto snares down the rebound. Type of guy that could do this. Could rebound, grab and go, kaya lang mintis lang yung kanyang tres.
Yes. But definitely yan ang hinahanap mo sa kanya. And Mike Cañete, my opinion, very solid in their last game. He's led the team in scoring in that match. But how about the contribution, though, overall the entire game?
5-4 Quezon in front. Gamalinda can't answer with a 3. Quezon throws the ball away. Bangkale, sidestep beauty from the former Mapua Cardinal.
Bangkale quickly going into, you know, starting the game very well para dito sa Mindoro Tamaraos.
2-man game between Judel Fuentes and Macaloni. They swing it. They find a wide open Cyrus Tabi who cashes in from deep.
Now, how much more can you afford to be doing drop coverage against these shooters from the Quezon Huskers?
Lista mo na yan. Mark Montuano with that signature mid-range jumper. We are tied 8-all.
Iba rin ang bit-bit nito ni Mark Montuano para dito sa Mindoro Tamaraos. Boy, another shot on its way. This time will miss.
Caspe. Floater is up. A foul will be whistled on Quezon.
And Caspe quickly going into that downhill action, getting inside the paint. And without any ball stop very early against JJ, he is very much capable of bringing that ball down the floor and taking an attempt inside the paint.
Caspe missing on the first free throw. Coach Benji Teodoro now starting as the head coach. He came in when Mindoro was in a funk. 3-5 record. And pagpasok niya, nag-improve yung kanilang kartada. en route to that very first playoff appearance for the franchise.
And that was a good start para dito kay Coach Benji. Their first playoff appearance as a Mindoro Tamaraw team, and they are looking to get past that even further in Season 8. Mike Cañete on his way gets fouled.
Paubos na yung shot clock nun. So quite unfortunate for the Tamaraws.
Well, the thing that you like though now, if you're the Mindoro Tamaraws, almost even ka pagdating sa assist, because itong Quezon Huskers pretty much one of the leaders right now when it comes to assists overall, and that pretty much has been their strength. And you like the selectivity when it comes to their three-point shot making. They're not forcing three-point shot attempts. They're taking it when they're open, they're within rhythm, and they're within balance.
Mike Cañete, 14 points per contest in his first 2 games. Mostly came off the bench last season with Rizal. Gabanal is in the ball game. Coming off the bench this time after being a starter in their game against Binyan. Caspe working on Judel Fuentes.
Very little movement on the weak side of the floor.
Gamalinda having trouble. Jump shot off the front iron, and a rebound ending up with Quezon. Approaching 6 minutes left in the first quarter.
If you're Coach Benji, definitely you're not liking that offensive set that you had earlier. I mean, there was little ball movement, there was little man movement, and the shot that Gamalinda took was really, forced in my opinion, because he was in a hurry to try to beat the shot clock as the clock was ticking on him.
Good thing that they were able to retain possession, Mindoro. Manny Pay is the digital wallet built for the community. Leaning to the left, Bangkale, tough shot. Fuentes snags down the rebound. Cañete, back to Judel. Tightly guarded by JJ Caspe, who thought it was off Judel Fuentes. Diego Dario will replace Cyrus Tabi. Just 1 point separating these two squads. Fuentes coming off that Macaloni screen. Turns around. Lost it momentarily. Picks it up. Takes the 3 and makes it.
Very early in the season, it is very important for Judel Fuentes to get involved offensively, especially on those outside sniping, because they're gonna need for him to help spread the floor and open up the lanes for the other guys to get paint touches and create. See this move right here, Judel Fuentes. Momentarily, that ball got tipped by JJ Caspe. Gave it a chase on that recovery and still rose up and took that shot.
Sedurifa comes in for the Tamaraws. Pahinga muna si JC Recto. So hindi pa natin nakikita yung mga prominent part of the rotation para sa Mindoro in RJ Ramirez and Marion Magat.
Yes. Those guys normally would come off the bench para sa kanila.
As well as Sean Andrews.
Yeah.
Bambam Gamalinda with a rejection on Diego Dario. Numbers for the guys in white. Gamalinda sumugod sa loob. But surrounded by a lot of black jerseys. Gamalinda steals it. Can't finish around the rim.
Boy, those are not quality shots for Mindoro. Most of their shots have really been rushed, no? Nagmamadali. Trying to get past that quick defense of the Huskers.
Seth Manzano nasa loob na. Gabanal. No. Manzano. Offensive rebound. And that's gonna be a big part of how Mindoro could be successful here if they could control those defensive rebounds, keeping Seth Manzano off the glass para sa Quezon.
Oh, napakahalaga na makontrol nila si Seth Manzano because offensively he's highly involved. No, if not for the shot attempts, it's on the rebounds. especially on the offensive rebound, when in the previous game he led the team with a couple of them. And the ball every time has to go through Sed Manzano.
LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL. This guy used to be a volleyball player during his elementary days, si Sed Manzano. Naglaro pa sa palarong pambansa nung grade school, pero nakumbinsi siya nung kanyang kuya na mag-switch na sa basketball. And he got discovered by Coach Ryan Monteclaro when he played in a pickup game. Hulaan mo saan?
Romblon.
Hindi.
Saan?
Dito, sa Pasig.
Ah, dito mismo.
Oh.
Okay. I thought they went to Romblon because I do understand itong si Sed is coming from Romblon.
At doon nagtuloy-tuloy na. Napunta siya sa Adamson and led them to 3 straight Final Four appearances in the UAP.
So ang ganda ng matchup niyan kay Mark Pinglis in their last game. I mean, he really was in it, which is exactly why you get a Sed Manzano to have that, big man presence underneath.
5-point lead for the Huskers. Ramirez hunting down Diego Dario. Recto turns down the shot. Lot of activity down low. We have a foul against Christian Pagaran.
At saka kita mo very mobile yung mga pieces na nasa loob para dito sa Quezon Huskers. I mean, you talk about defensive end, you see that shot, no go para dito kay RJ, had to give it up over to JC. Ito na yung banggaan sa ilalim. And everybody was trying to position themselves because they know that there's a shot that's eventually gonna come.
Marian Magat pleading his case with referee Alvin Sosonko. 3 minutes and 29 seconds left in the first quarter. Nag-aabol pa rin ang Mindoro. Down by 5 points. RJ Ramirez, Joseph Sedoripa, Marian Magat, JJ Caspe, and JC Recto ang magkakasama sa loob.
Oh man, not even open catch and shoot threes they can't take because that defense rotates very quickly.
Marian Magat bails them out, knocks down a triple.
Well, that's the least guy that you expect to take a three, and so that's something, to my understanding, that they are willing to give up a Marian Magat three.
Pumalog palabas yung jump shot ni Diego Dario. Leading up the miss though was Christian Pagaran, who had a breakthrough performance in the finals against Abra for the Quezon Huskers.
Oh, he was huge in that finals against Abra. And really that coming out game for Christian Pagaran, and you see that confidence now in the manner that he moves. We got another good three this time for JJ Caspe.
Back-to-back triples from the Tamaraws, getting themselves to within 1.
And the early scouting report says, isa yan sa mga kailangan ayusin to be better itong Mindoro Tamaraws, be better at the threes. They're roughly shooting about 20-something% from there, and that's not gonna cut it, especially if you have all these talented guys around you to help you secure the offensive rebounds. See that drive right there, that kick over to JJ Caspe.
Creating that 3-point shot by the former Imos player last season, Christian Pagaran. From Lantapan, Bukidnon, naipasok yung kanyang unang free throw. 2 minutes and 25 seconds left in quarter number 1. Sports Plus is the official sports book of the MPBL. Scan the QR code to play or visit www.sportsplus.ph.
Gusto mo dito kay Christian Pagaran, two-way player din, kayang humabol sa mga close out and even can take the hits inside the paint.
Magat is open.
That ball is ticking.
Now he takes the free. Diego Dario.
And you see the contrast of play style very early para dito sa Mindoro and Quezon. Quezon tries to push that pace, trying to score in the very first 8 seconds of the shot clock. Samantalang itong Mindoro, I don't know if they're forced into getting into late into the shot clock situation because of the defense of the Quezon Huskers.
Under 2 minutes na lang tayo sa ating first quarter. Diego Dario, a lot of room to take that shot, and he makes them pay with a trifecta.
But you're not at all surprised with Diego Dario knocking down that three. You've seen that numerous times. Big shots made, especially on that maybe I see a game. Oh, ball tap from behind.
In transition, Quezon, Dario pulling up, banking it in from mid-range.
5 quick ones from Diego Dario. However, the guards of the Quezon Huskers have outworked the guards of the Tamaraws.
Play of the game brought to you by Sports Plus, the official sports book of the MPBL.
A quick stop right there by Diego Dario, understanding that everybody was trying to go downhill, tried to survey middle of the floor. Didn't see anyone free, understood that he was the least guarded guy, and he took it.
We have a timeout by Mindoro. We'll be right back.
White House steps back into the game. What kind of business can he make? And what a steal. That player's going to keep it up the game. 89 in the final quarter of the game. Can they make magic? White House wins the game.
Win the game. Easy lang with Sports Plus.
Commissioner Emma Ureta, Head of Security Rudy Distrito, having a lengthy conversation. Kaya pinag-uusapan niya, no? Kaya ulam mamaya. Ha?
Malamang. Kasi magdi-dinner na. Magsa-7 na.
90 seconds left in the first quarter. Quezon creating separation. Abante na sila ng 8. 23-15. Ramdam mo merong scouting report sa bawat isa eh.
Oo.
Itong Quezon.
At saka ano defensively you see there are no open gaps. There's always that one guy that fills in that gap while attending to his assigned man. So now if you're Mindoro, you have to create a lot of movement, and so that you preoccupy the defense in the hope that they commit mistakes.
They will live with that shot by RJ Ramirez.
Because that's the shot very early in the shot clock that the Huskers are allowing them to take. And I'm sure Coach Eric has also, scouted the shooting percentages of the guys from 3 dito sa Tamaraws. And there's very few of them because, like what I said, they're shooting very low in terms of 3-point makes. Their strength has been the paint and the medium range. That's it. Nothing so much from the 3.
John Abate making an appearance now for Quezon. Christian Pagaran leaning in, and he gives the Huskers its first taste of a double-digit lead.
And look at him after he made that shot. Quickly go down, find his assignment. Right now, this zone has really slowed down. Good cut. And a good pass right there by RJ Ramirez. RJ and Ashen really connecting at that instance. There's that pass over to Christian Pagaran. Saw that close out by Ashen Andrews. And stopped on the elbow for a dime. Push shot. And then as he went back, nilolocate niya kagad. Ganasa si Ashen Andrews.
Ashawn Andrews. He was really strong, especially on the defensive end. In game 2 of that double overtime loss Mindoro had against Quezon to bow out of that series. But the commendable efforts of him and RJ Ramirez of trying to slow down Judel Fuentes and LJ Gonzalez.
And those two pretty much made things difficult then para dun sa Quezon Huskers in that game. The 3 on its way. Oh my goodness.
This guy is oozing with confidence right now. Christian Pagaran has a total of 9 points. Quezon is just all over the place. Time winding down in the first quarter. 5 seconds left. Naiwanan si Banal sa 3. Short. Mindoro dodging a bullet. But this lead has ballooned thanks to this 10-0 run to close out this period for the Quezon Huskers.
Without a doubt, the flow of that first quarter was pretty much Quezon. I mean, the way that they shot the lights out from anywhere on the floor, including the line, controlling the glass. and even the paint, and they're getting a lot of help from the bench. Will Macaloni did his thing very early, and then some guys, Diego Bancale, tried to create some stuff para sa Mindoro Tamaraws, but defensively, you got to challenge the three-point shot attempts of the Quezon Huskers, make it difficult for them, not give them open looks and balanced shots, because if you do, it's always going to find the bottom of the net.
Kaya naman lamang sila at the end of the first quarter, 28-15.
Ang mga bisyo, sports ang laging iisipin. Sa droga ay wag
Welcome back to the MPBL. This is actually a very important game for the Mindoro Tamaraws dahil the Quezon Huskers nga were their opponents during the playoffs last season. Sabi ni Coach Benji, of course, one of their biggest goals of the season is to beat Quezon. But no matter what happens daw this game, it's going to be a good indicator if they actually improve from the last season. In terms of last game naman daw, very evident that his team struggled, especially during the second quarter. Aminado si Coach Benji na hindi siya satisfied sa performance ng new additions ng kanilang koponantan. Their veterans actually had to step up and that was not part of the plan. So their focus for today's game is good execution of their offense and more importantly, reducing their turnovers. Back to you, Ken and Mike.
Maraming salamat, G. Saan damakmak kasi yung turnovers ng
Yeah.
Mindoro against Jensan?
At saka, I like that he pointed out that clearly that second quarter was that start of their downfall in that game. They made a run in middle of the first quarter, which I felt really looked good. But then again, the turnovers were really the ones that hurt them. And 22% of their possessions have really resulted in turnovers. And if you want to be really good this season, you have to at least bring it down to at least 14 or 15% of your possessions, because otherwise they're just throwing the ball away and allowing the other team to make the most of it.
They come away with a steal. RJ Ramirez in transition. A foul will be called against Quezon.
Matter of fact, if you look at the numbers of Mindoro, like what I said at the top of the coverage, there are only two stats that they've really been pretty solid on. One is field goal makes, where they roughly average close to 42% field goal shooting, which is pretty decent. And the second one being bench points. They're getting close to 40 points from coming off the bench, and that roughly contributes about a close 40% also of their scoring. And so, you know, the other things which are very controllable, lalo na yung turnovers.
Extreme ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. That free throw snaps a 12-0 run by Quezon. And that's the first basket in 3 minutes for the Mindoro Tamaraws. A split at the line, however, from RJ Ramirez. John Abate, Jolo Manansala, Joshua Hierro, Seth Manzano, and Judel Fuentes. The 5 on the floor for Quezon. Oh, no!
No! Wow!
Big time triple plus a foul. But Abate is hurt after that shot.
See that again. RJ Ramirez had to fight that screen of Jolo, and then a couple of guys, Bam Gamalinda, as well as RJ Ramirez, had to challenge that 3 attempt by Abate. And they definitely have to do that because they're getting killed from beyond. John Abate sinks a tough one right there.
Gamalinda returns for Mindoro. Coach Air Gonzalez in his 4th consecutive season with Quezon. Abate mightily struggled in the preseason and nag-carry over din, at least in the first 2 games. So this is a game where he has a chance to get himself going here.
Yes. And to be more involved on the offensive end. Well, we looked at his numbers in the preseason. Just like any other team, yung usage rate or involvement ng mga players on the offensive executions, halos magkakapareho eh. So you don't see special players getting more attention on the offensive end. But now, here in the regular season, you know, key players, marquee players will have to be strongly involved in the offensive end, and so you expect that usage rate to be higher.
15-1 run being enjoyed right now by the Quezon Huskers. Establishing this 15-point lead. Abate gets to his spot. A thing of beauty, that pull-up jumper.
Not only him getting to the spot, everything that the Quezon Huskers plan to do in this game they're getting to anywhere inside the floor. They're getting to their threes, they're getting to their paint touches, and they're getting to the line.
RJ. Pass to Bam Bam Gamalinda.
That's a shot.
Sedorifa tracks it down. Gamalinda cuts. Pivots inside. Ramirez in the paint, in trouble. Turnover once again for Mindoro.
3 black shirts underneath, making it difficult for that ball to be controlled by RJ Ramirez. And again, you get 3 guys in there. Shows you the level of commitment defensively para dito sa Quezon Huskers. And you got to talk things over now if you're the Mindoro Tamaraws. You're getting outscored very early here in the second.
Swerte rin nila dahil Quezon pa yung nag-timeout dito. They're up by 17, 33-16.
Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball na. Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yung mayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang pupunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na, MPBL na. Yan ang liga.
Sports Plus is the official sportsbook of the MPBL. Scan the QR code to play or visit www.sportsplus.ph. Cyrus Tabi did not see action in the opening game, but in that win over Binyan, he was instrumental in helping them get over the hump. 11 points, 4 rebounds, and 8 assists. The usual all-around brilliance we see from the Righteous.
Yeah, ako nagustuhan ko doon yung control sa laro eh. You know, primarily first season as a Quezon Husker, he's already number 7 when it comes to usage in their team. Thinking about, you know, yung importance niya ng pagpapahalaga na maitutulong niya sa offensive end of the floor. And he's very efficient when it comes to shooting. He shot, what, 66% on his very first game against Binyan. And mind you, that was against Binyan. And it's not that easy to score against Binyan, who, in my opinion, is a team that loves to, you know, grind out game every time and make every offensive possession very difficult for their opponents.
The Quezon Huskers in the midst of a 17-1 run. Bamam Gamalinda getting fouled. Top scorer so far for Mindoro. And that's important, especially when you lose guys like when Ino Comboy.
Yeah. I think the work to be done really is to, like, guys like Mark Montuano, you know, to help out in the scoring. Even JJ Caspe, even maybe JB De La Cruz. Those guys are very capable shooters. Of course, no question about RJ Ramirez being a part of that, you know, offensive attack para dito sa Mindoro Tamaraws. But then again, when you look at the game against Manila, when they went down in the first half, they really just came back with a 12-0, with a 12-point run in the third quarter, all because of Bam Bam Gamalinda. And you cannot just pin everything on Bam Bam.
Iba na kasi complexion ng lineup ng Mindoro eh. Lahat ng key players na bahagi ng kanilang main rotation, wala na. Si Ino Comboy, nasa Batangas City. Axel Inigo, Brandre Bienes is now with Negro. So those are all guys that could stretch the floor. And it was certainly their identity at one point. Actually, majority of the season, they were the top 3-point shooting team in the league. Thanks to those 3 guys. Pero iba na yung personnel nila ngayon, Coach Mike.
That is right. And you might have missed out on one guy who also was pretty decent when it comes to knocking down threes. You remember Ethan Galang. He also is a guy that can help contribute. And so, in the absence of those guys, as you see another 3 attempt here by the Huskers, you have to, you know, let the other guys do the same now. The new guys that have come in. Oh, man.
What a rebound by Cholo Manansala.
Oh, my.
snatching it in the air, and it's now a 21-1 run by the Quezon Huskers.
I'm gonna tell you, all the important stats that needs to be controlled. That one was a basket because of a good backdoor cut by Mark Montuano, only because he stayed active despite the pressure on the defensive end. And this run by the Quezon Huskers, you couple that with their defensive intensity, they are definitely out here to make a run and get that cup finally in the season.
Turnover though against Quezon. Play of the game brought to you by Sports Plus, the official sports book of the MPBL. This is Mark Montuano sliding in for the layup.
Look at how they delay the offense of the Mindoro Tamaraws here. That ball has not reached anyone else. It's always been in the hands of Jacob Bancale. Now he's made to make a decision, and that was a tough shot.
Pinahirapan siya ng gusto doon ni Cyrus Tabi.
Walang malinis na look, no?
Fuentes, short, Cañete the rebound. 6 minutes left in the second quarter.
Good defense right there by Gamalinda, trying to close out that gap. As Cyrus Tabi is starting to get past him. Now the Tamaraws are playing a little bit of zone because it allows them maybe shorter close out para sa mga three-point shooters nila. Like if it's man, sometimes you get sink in deep inside the paint. Before you know it, your guy who has a really good shooting touch is already out there beyond the arc. Oh my.
Dario had a good look, just couldn't knock it down. Recto has to get himself going here. No
That's a
look
good
pass,
pass.
Yamat for free, off the mark. One and done by Mindoro. Great job boxing out was Mike Cañete.
In my opinion, one of the cleanest pass so far that we've seen from the Mindoro Tamaraws.
Traveling, tama.
Now, good defense. You're getting your stops, but you gotta score some on your end.
Jacob Bancale, JC Recto, Ivan Kutyamat, Marion Magat, at si Bambam Gamalinda ang nasa loob para sa Mindoro Tamaraws.
And there's all these switches. And you see how Mike Cañete takes on a diving Marion Magot as another guy covers on the other man that's roaming outside. And having Will Macaloni stay outside, walang problema yan kay Will kasi nasanay na yan na as a big man na lumaro rin sa labas eh.
Baseline inbound. Magat pops out. Guarded by Will Macaloni. Bancale again working on Diego Dario. 7 on their shot clock. Diego Bancale gets into the paint. Tabigan ng bola. Napunta ay Chris Lalatat. On the run, Dario was trying to locate Christian Pagaran, but they throw the ball away. A timeout by Mindoro past the halfway point of quarter number 2. We'll pause for a break.
Sa Visayas, sa Mindanao, MPBL na. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino. Sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Ang bawat laban ay nakakakaba dahil sa husay ng bawat isa. Sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag-3 points na. Bawat bayay di matatalo. Buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo. Iwasan na.
Back with us here at the Inares Sports Arena in Pasig City, Marion Magat and the Mindoro Tamaraws in a predicament, down by 17 points, 37-20 against the Quezon Huskers. With 4 minutes and 48 seconds left in the second quarter. Ken Pangalinan, Coach Mike Perez, Gianna Llanes, keeping you company here on a Saturday night. Recto turned down that shot. Well challenged by Chris Lalata.
And yan naman ang halaga na binibit-bit nito ni Chris Lalata. He might not be providing you so much of the three-point shot making, pero man, those perimeter defenses and yung mga rebounds, napakalaking tulong yan.
Pagaran can't make the three. Another offensive rebound by Quezon. Macaloni sizing up Marion Magat. Manansala.
And you see how when that ball gets in the post, nakaano no? Ang dami nangyayari sa kabilang side, no? Walang nakatayo lang.
Now will Mindoro respond? Quezon is just in total command at the moment. Caspe returns for Mindoro, replacing Bambam Gamalinda. Manny Pay is the digital wallet built for the community. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Caspe wasn't in balance, and that's why overshot the target. Marion Magat, will it count? They can review it. From our table officials, they called a shot clock violation.
In their last game against the Quezon Warriors, Ken, itong Mindoro Tamaraws, close to 45% of their possessions, offensive possessions, have actually been shot in the last 8 seconds. Oh, that's close. So the thing that I'm trying to drive at is guys have to be quicker at making decisions once they get the ball on the front court. Minsan nakikita mo yung bola, let's say mapupunta sa wing, let's say to a JJ Caspe. He can't make a quick decision because the defense is all over him. And he's trying to find the guy that's nearest next to him to be available to receive a pass.
Basket will not count. Shot clock violation against Mindoro. And there's gonna be that conversation, Coach Mike, for the Mindoro Tamaraws on whether they could be a legit contender in the South. How about that acrobatic finish from Chris Lalata?
I just love every time that they go to that little short action. See another missed three by Ivan and another run out. Oh my.
Recto got a piece of that one though.
Good defense by JC that time.
Numbers advantage for Mindoro. Recto,
That's
nice pass inside. Kudyamat with a short stab.
That's it. That's what I was trying to drive at, faster to a decision to get to the ball, and the only way you're gonna do that is you have moving pieces. But it is tough, especially with the intensity of the defense of the Quezon Huskers.
Chris Lalata late to get back. Kudyamat was slightly open on the previous possession. Chris Lalata
Oh yeah.
gets airborne. 2 more points. Comfortably ahead are the Quezon Huskers, 39-22.
Iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin. Sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. MPBL na, MPBL na. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino. Sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. MPBL.
Ivan Kudyamat cuts the lead down to 17, 39-22.
But only because they move the ball very well. I think that's one of the very rare times that you see a quick, touch passing almost para dito sa Tamaraws.
Under 3 minutes left. Manzano at an open lane. Bola nakuha ni Ivan Kudyamat. Si Recto ang nagtitimon para sa Mindoro. Binabantayan ni Joshua Yero. Bangkali, kaharap si Dario. Balik kay JC Recto.
Pull him out. There you go.
Magat dives
That's
in.
it.
He scores plus a foul.
Yeah, faster decision making. I like that from JC Recto. I mean, as soon as you saw that double hard show by Sed Manzano, you got to make them pay. And quickly, Marion Magat cuts downhill and he receives the pass without a dribble, fronts it, and goes glass.
3-point play opportunity for Marion Magat, who hit a triple earlier in the first quarter. Had a strong preseason for Mindoro.
Yeah. Mobile big man that's got good length, can block shots.
Yun yung kulang sa kanila last season eh. Pumasok siya sa free agency and trade window, but he wasn't as well conditioned as he is compared to now.
Yes. Tsaka iba na rin yung, I mean, I follow the page of the Mindoro Tamaraws and you see their conditioning. Talagang, very early on. And you like that they're also, kumbaga, deeply set in the community of Pola Mindoro. And that gives that level of relationship with the community of Mindoro.
2 minutes left. Recto locates Caspe. Good look, but offline.
Yeah, that still was a good look. Never mind the miss. At least you're getting the cleaner looks now as opposed to how you started the game.
Skip pass Manzano to his Adamson teammate. Hierro. Ayaw pumasok yung tres. This is a crucial stretch for Mindoro. If they could scatter some points and make this a much more manageable lead heading into the half, that could work wonders for them.
Agree.
Recto. Tres. Umalog palabas.
That one's forced. Didn't have anybody moving. Yeah, that is going to be a foul on Kudyamat. Yeah. Because Gab was really just standing there as he allowed Diego Dario to pass.
Ano naman nakikita mo ngayon, Coach Mike, sa Quezon? Well, go both ways, similarities and differences. Because for the past 3 seasons, they had that core of LJ Gonzalez, Simon Sandagon, Vince Magbuon came in season 6. Those guys are gone, as well as Will Gozo. Ibang-iba na yung complexion ng lineup nila, but they still remain like a well-oiled machine under Coach Eric Gonzalez.
Oh, I think that's foundational to them. I mean, yung sistema nila that's already there. Any personnel, a new guy that comes in will have to learn that system and work it. And so far, that's been really the thing. And what you also have to admire with the way that they recruited players this season. I like Sed Manzano coming in because it gives them a presence inside, a big body that can bang inside alongside si Will Macaloni. Those two will be helpful, especially if you go up against guys like Mark Pingres, who is definitely a team. Yung Binyan, they have to go through if they want to get the division finals and eventually the national finals. I like that they got Jolo Manansala as a backup for Christian Pagaran. Those two very similar style of plays. And of course, with the departure of LJ Gonzalez, bringing in Cyrus Tabi, I felt was a good pickup para dito sa Quezon Huskers.
Mangkale nagtitimon para sa Mindoro. 45 seconds left. Jeco locates Sean Andrews. Back to Bangkale. He will not get it off in time. Another shot clock violation whistled against Mindoro.
And right there you see Jeco Bangkale telling Ashon Andrews, you already had that shot. You have to take that shot. Because that ball got reversed from strong side to weak on that catch. He's got to shoot it. Pero to my understanding, maybe hindi yun yung zone na kung saan komportable tumira. Itong si Ashon Andrews. He wants to be a little bit closer kaya he was trying to get one more dribble before he took that shot.
Crisp passing from the Huskers. Manansala will earn himself 2 free throws after getting fouled.
You know how you could immediately see how the offense would progress? They bring that ball up high, they pull in a secondary defender, they get that pass, that couple of defenders understood that if they get past that, it's a numbers game. And so you really just have to read who's the next defender that's going to commit. He got that ball over to the middle. That middle guy commits. And the next discarded guy would be this man right here on the line, Jolo Manansala, who I feel brings a lot of athleticism for the Quezon Huskers.
Knocks down the first free throw. From Angeles City, Pampanga, Jolo Manansala. Played all 5 years for the NU Bulldogs. Naipasok parehong free throw. Time winding down in the first half. Mindoro facing a 16-point deficit. Mancale trying to break down the defense of John Abate. Recto in trouble. And just how pesky that defense is for Quezon. Clearly bothering Recto, and they force a turnover against him.
These are the defensive possessions that Coach Eric and the coaching staff really would love for the Huskers.
Abate will heave it from just beyond the three-point arc. Man, a masterclass from the Quezon Huskers. Clamping down on defense, and Mindoro firing blanks on the other end. And the Quezon Huskers bring at the half a 16-point lead, 41-25.
Ang bawat bayan ay sumasaya kapag may labay nagkakaroon.
White House steps back into the game. What kind of impact can he make? And what a steal! That way is going to even up the game. 9 in the final over the game. Can they make magic? White House wins the game!
Win the game. Easy long with Sports Plus.
Welcome back to Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. It is halftime of our second game between the Quezon Huskers and the Mindoro Tamaraws. The score is 41-25 in favor of Quezon. Ako po si Gian Alyanes at kasama ko ngayon ang assistant coach ng Quezon Huskers na si Coach Jeric Teng. Coach Jeric, there's no denying na sobrang stacked ng inyong lineup this season. I know you guys had the preseason, but in terms of this regular season, kamusta ang adjustment and contributions ng inyong new additions?
We're still in the process of getting to know each other and everyone buying into the system dahil yun nga, more than half of our team bago. Marami kaming new players. So it will take some time to really gel together, pero that's what the regular season is for. Talaga para to tune up and get ready for the playoffs.
Now, Coach Jeric, we know that your team has reached the national finals the past 2 seasons. Maaari mo bang ibahagi sa amin ngayon? Have you been talking about your goals for this season?
Yun, ever since naman, that's been our goal is to win the national championship, hindi lang yung South Division. Pero every season, laging bago yung challenges. All the teams are getting stronger. Yung mga kalaban namin, lumalakas din sila. So we really have to prepare for it. And slowly lang, it's a process. So we have to be patient lang.
Coach Jeric, we love when you guys have home games because you have a very supportive crowd. Sino ang gusto mong pasalamatan in terms of the support that your team is getting?
Yes, we can't wait to play again sa home court namin. Siyempre, we want to thank all the Quezonians, mga kababayan namin na talaga lagi nakasubaybay sa amin. Meron kami nanonood ngayon, taga Sariayat. They're watching the game live, and lahat pa nanonood sa TV at Facebook. Siyempre, our team owners are very supportive. They're probably watching right now. Governor Dr. Helen Tan, Boss R.D. Ronel Tan, Congressman Attorney Mike Tan, Bokal Doc Kim Tan, Dr. Camille, Kobe Malik, Calix, Mayor Ralph Lim, and our team manager, Attorney Don Kapunan. Binabati ko na rin lahat po ng mga kababayan ko dyan sa Gumanga, Quezon. Sana supportahan, tuloy-tuloy na supportahan ng ating team, Quezon Huskers. We're gonna try to win this game for you guys.
Thank you very much once again. That was the assistant coach of the Quezon Huskers, Coach Jeric Tan. Magbabalik pa po ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League.
Buong bansa'y magsama-sama in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL. sa Mindanao. Ang bawat laban ay nakakakaba dahil sa husay ng bawat isa. Sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag 3 points na. Bawat bayay di patatalo. Buong barangay
Alright mga kaliga, oras na ulit para sa ating Sports Plus Clutch Time Challenge. Narito na ang ating ikalawang contestant, si Tony Soriano. Alright, Tony, you have 45 seconds to make a layup, free throw, 3-point shot, and half-court shot. Kapag nagawa mo yan sa loob ng 45 seconds, mag-uuwi ka ng ₱1,000,000. Alright, Tony, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Ayan na para sa layup. Free throw naman ang kasunod. Ayan na. 3-point shot. You still have a lot of time, Tony. 35 seconds. Ayan na. 30 seconds, Tony. Para sa ₱1,000,000. Ayan na. Oh, sayang. 20 seconds, Tony. Ayan na. Come on, Tony. 10 seconds para sa ₱1,000,000.
basketball.
5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sayang. Thank you very much, Tony. Good effort pa rin. And you'll still be going home with Sports Plus merchandise. Thank you for joining. At sa ating mga kaliga, check out the Sports Plus Facebook page to find out how you can join. At baka ikaw na ang susunod na winner ng Sports Plus Clutch Time Challenge.
Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball na. Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang kubunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Ang bawat laban ay nakakakaba dahil sa husay ng bawat isa. Sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag 3 points na. Bawat bayay di patatalo, buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Sa Luzon, sa Visayas, at Mindanao. MPBL, Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. may labay nagkakaisa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball na. Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang kupunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Ang bawat laban ay nakakakaba, dahil sa husay ng bawat isa. Sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag-3 points na. Bawat bayay di patatalo, buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Sa Luzon, sa Visayas, at Mindanao. MPBL, Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League.
White House steps back into the game. What kind of impact can he make? And what a steal. That way is going to even out the game. 89 in the final moments of the game. Can they make magic? White House wins the game.
Win the game. Easy long with Force Plus.
Score at the half is 41-25 Quezon Huskers with this 16-point lead over the Mindoro Tamaraws. Coach Mike, it was 16-15 late in the first quarter, but Quezon just jumped all over Mindoro, 19-1 run, and just holding Mindoro without a field goal for several minutes. And that was basically the difference and the reason why they have this big lead over Mindoro.
I think one thing that's concerning now for the Tamaraws is yung scoring. 15 points in the first quarter, and then just this much points, 25, only 10 in the second quarter. You're shooting 31% versus the 40% of the Quezon Huskers. And when you talk about points per possession, lamang na lamang dyan ang Quezon Huskers because of the 3-point shots that they make. And roughly, they also did a good job in terms of securing offensive rebounds, getting second chance opportunities, and a lot of help from the bench is what really does the clear difference in that first half.
Ika-anim na puntos si Mark Montuano, JJ Caspe, and Marion Magat. Jeco Bangkale backstopping them with 4, but missing out on that scoring column were JC Recto and Bambam Gamalinda. Sa panig naman ng Quezon, all 9 of his points coming in the first quarter. Christian Pagaran, Jolo Manansala with 6. Tiglibang puntos naman si Mike Cañete and Diego Dario. So what does Mindoro need to do, you feel like, Coach Mike, if they want to make this a more competitive game in the second half?
They got to be quicker to a decision, especially when they get that ball. I felt that the ball stuck and it wasn't moving around as quickly as it should. The only times that they scored convincingly were that interior passing where you had, I think it was Marion Magat who scored underneath, and then earlier it was, I'm not sure if it was Kudyamat who scored underneath. And pretty much that was it. And you really got to move that ball around. And once that ball gets to one side of the floor, guys have to cut on the weak side, and so that you give yourselves a chance and you make that defense move.
Fuentes, suabing-suabe. Opens up the third quarter with a basket. Has a total of 5.
Now they're getting quicker into actions now and faster to a pass.
Sedorifa straight but strong on the 3-point attempt.
Is it a better start to 2 possessions for the Mindoro Tamaraws? I'd say yes. Save for the makes. But this one, the defense of Jadel Fuentes pretty much late. Mario Maga was not going to bite in because he understands that once he does, it's going to be downhill action for Jadel Fuentes.
Swing pass, Hierro off the bounce. Macaloni. Maga got a piece of it.
That's a travel. That one is, in my opinion, unforced turnovers para dito sa Quezon Huskers. Turnover number 10.
Mindoro switching things up in the third. RJ Ramirez, Joseph Sedorifa, Bambam Gamalinda, Marian Magat, and JJ Caspe.
There you go.
They are on the floor for the Tamaraws. Caspe a miss from the corner. Intended yun para kay Cyrus Tabi but Macaloni was in the way. And as a result, they throw it out of bounds. Balik ang bola sa panig ng Mindoro.
Pangalawang pagkakataon na yun na medyo may konting halo ng confusion. Kanina kung sino yung kukuha ng offensive rebound, nagkalituan between Hierro and Macaloni, ended up on that travel. And then this time around, Macaloni and Tabi naman. Boy, look at how Mike Cañete is top-siding that post positioning by Bam Gamalinda. Clean look right here. There you go.
Bam, lista mo na. Needs to get himself going. Gamalinda was scoreless in the first half. Silang dalawa ni JC Recto, their 2 leading scorers, coming up empty in the first 2 quarters.
Right. And definitely well scouted by the Quezon Huskers. You take away, you know, the guys who scored the most, you're going to make it difficult for them.
Cañete launches, left it short, got it back. And there were 3 guys from Mindoro, but nobody locating Mike Cañete, and he puts Quezon up by 17, 45-28.
MBO, missed box outs, very crucial part of the numbers game. We don't capture that in our stats, but you know, each team, I'd like to think, will have their own, you know, parang monitoring of that stat line, because that really leads to offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds.
Minsan lang. Sasabihin ko dapat, no? Ito si RJ Ramirez over Cyrus Tabi. Minsan lang magkamali si Tabi at nangyari sa pagkakataon na yun.
Oo naman, tama naman.
Kaya daw righteous eh. Bihira daw magkamali.
Alam mo kung sino nagbinyag niyan? Si
Oh.
Coach Christian nung game nung, I think when they were covering Pasay, I think, when he couldn't do anything wrong. So that's when he got called righteous.
Siya ba nag-coin nung moniker ni Cyrus?
I think, yeah.
O si Richard Campos?
I'm not so sure, but I thought I heard that first from Coach Christian.
3 minutes gone by in the third. JJ Caspe hits the first free throw. Had 46 points. That was the largest output put up in a game last season when he was with Imos in that overtime loss against Marikina in Abra.
Yeah. And he came in as, I feel when he came in here in Mindoro, I thought that was a very important addition.
Manny paid the digital wallet built for the community.
And pakiramdam ko yung addition na yun, mas lalong lumalalim yung guard rotation para dito sa Mindoro Tamaraws. Now they're running.
They have the numbers. Caspe wants to post up Cyrus Tabi. JJ skips it. Sedorifa, good look.
Yeah.
He knocks it down. Lead is down to 10.
Well, 2 things you have to take note there. JJ Caspe was taking advantage of a smaller guy on him on the low block and then finding a shooter on the other end in Joseph Sederifa.
Foul whistled on Bam Bam Gamalinda.
See this post up right here, a little bit undersized, but you see the help coming in from Mike Cañete. They saw that dive, the weak side. Banal got committed, leaving, and Joseph Sederifa free on that wing three.
Macaloni, after spending 4 seasons with Nueva Ecija, now donning a Quezon Husker jersey.
I feel he's also on a mission to try and go back into the finals. No, napakahalaga para kay Will Macaloni niyan. Minsan, pag nakarating ka na doon, talagang isa pa no? You want another crack at it.
3-point shooting has been friendly to Quezon, 6 out of 15. Pero tumatama na yung mga tira sa labas. Back-to-back triples from Joseph Sederifa. Mindoro has trimmed the gap to single digits.
Yun ang pinakamahalagang salitang ginamit mo ngayon, Ken, para dito sa Mindoro. Tumatama na yung kanilang mga tira. First time that magkasunod na tres yun. At ito, ang ganda rin ng depensa. I feel, medyo spark plug ang dating nito ni Joseph Sederifa as he went inside this second half. See that fader on the corner, trying to find a way against that drive by RJ Ramirez and catch and shoot situation. That's what we've been trying to ask from this Mindoro Tamaraws. Once you get it out on the three, you gotta catch and shoot it. There's better percentages to that shot.
Mike Cañete hits the first free throw. Almost, just past the 6-minute mark of the third. He knocks down both. Let's go to Gianna.
As soon as last season ended daw, Mike Cañete went back to his hometown in Davao. But when he was called by Quezon, he was overjoyed with the opportunity and flew into Manila on January 31, then practiced with the team the next day. Napakadali raw ng adjustment niya dahil 10 sa kanyang teammates ay Bisaya rin. He is closest to fellow Bisaya, Will Macaloni, because they are in the same situation, tasked with leading the team. Ang napansin daw niya sa Huskers, napakadetalyado ng lahat. From coaching to the management, meaning it also helped them both be more detailed as players. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Gianna. And that's why, despite the changes in personnel, Coach Mike, the defensive identity remains there for Quezon.
Oh, they're actually not after primarily the outcome. They're really more of the process. And so that's why yung level of details, ika nga na minimension ni Mike Cañete, is napakahalaga in pursuing a certain goal para dito sa Huskers. 3 on its way.
Speaking of pursuing, it's what Mindoro wants, this comeback attempt. They are just down by 8. Marion Mangat hit a free earlier. Malakas lang. Fuentes, umiwas si Sederifa. Hit him on the way down, and he will be whistled with a foul. He is in total disbelief with that foul call.
Yeah, because to his point, he was actually trying to avoid Judel Fuentes, not even, trying to get in contact with him. Okay, he got beat. He was staying away. He was actually moving away from where Judel was supposed to land.
He may have a good case.
That's right.
It's worthy of a challenge. That's what exactly Coach Benji will do. We'll be right back for the result of this one.
Laba'y pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang kubunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino.
Upon review, the challenge was successful. There was no foul.
I think that was pretty clear. Kaya naman successful yung naging challenge.
Yeah, pretty clear. Wala namang intent na saktan. In fact, he was really moving away. Pero yung momentum rin kasi ni Jodel papunta sa kanya.
Buti sana kung nangyari, hindi niya pinaland si Jodel. Pero naglanding siya eh.
Yeah.
And then, siya yung nag-brace nung kanyang phone.
Correct.
Hinawakan niya si Dorifa.
Sa madaling salita, sinagip pa niya.
Oo.
Di ba?
Ang ikaw, savior ka, Coach Mike. Jump ball at center court na ipanalo ng Mindoro.
By the way, I love that change. The first time we encountered that, yung successful game challenge mo, you get a jump.
Magat libre sa tres. Malakas.
That's too loud.
Karambola. Sari-saring manlalaro, bumagsak. And si Bambam, siya pa yung tumulong kay John Abate. After they clashed on that ensuing play.
Understanding the value of 50-50 ball possessions actually. Yun ang ano niya, yun ang tinitingnan diyan. Kaya naman humabol rin talaga itong Mindoro Tamaraws on that point in case being Bam Kamalinda.
They'll review it because there were multiple collisions that happened after Magat badly missed a free. But they've had 3 triples in this quarter alone after coming up with only 2 of 15. Actually, 4 na. They are shooting 4 out of 6 from 3-point distance in the third quarter. Talking about ang Mindoro Tamaraws. And isa nga sa pinag-uusapan natin, Coach Mike, no, for Mindoro is whether they could be viewed as a serious contender. Especially in the South Division na binanggit na rin ni Consi Jeric Teng during the halftime interview of Gianna na ang dami nagpalakas. And that includes the South. You have teams like Cebu, Rizal, Quezon, always part of that conversation. Batangas City, Basilan could be a sleeping giant sa kanilang division.
Yep. Tsaka ano, everybody really try to shore up their roster if not including to improve their system.
Cholo Año is the guy who has that white cap. At Quezon, sumabay din sa trend. Alam nilang marami nagpalakas. Nagdagdag din sila ng kanilang mga pyesa. Manzano is part of that crew, posting up Mark Montuano. Pumihit. Basket will not count. Foul on the floor against the Tamaraws.
And of course, you can't leave out the Gensan Warriors and the Zamboanga Sikat as well. Zamboanga might be a little bit of a struggle now, but you know, that team also got good potential. I think they're on the same boat as itong Mindoro Tamaraws.
Gensan, Binyan.
Yep, Binyan.
Manzano sa loob, pumihit. Reverse layup too strong. Mindoro on the run, but Quezon doing a great job getting back on defense quickly as well.
There you go.
Dorifa going downhill, picks up a foul against a fellow veteran in Gab Banal.
Kung meron isang magic bunot sa larong ito para sa Mindoro, I feel that's already itong si Joseph Dorifa. I mean, he's a game changer so far here in the second quarter, in the third quarter rather. But primarily, some of the things that Mindoro needs to do is really to address their three-point shooting in the first half, where they were only 2 out of 15 for 13% shooting. You gotta stop forcing yung mga pull-up threes, at least to be freed up. And if you're contested, then go put the ball on the floor and attack the paint.
Free throws din nagiging problema nila, just 5 out of 12.
Tsaka yung disparity din sa bench production talaga. It's 9 points versus that of Quezon's 28. Now, when you look at it, scoring contribution, 68% of the points of the Quezon Huskers have really come from the bench.
But they have made up some ground. Behind by 7. Lalata.
Good fake, good shot.
Swishes in that mid-range jumper.
And he did that ball fake to try and move that defense by Bam Gamalinda.
Bam. Abate was there to bother him.
Mindoro Tamaraos, actually, if you look at the perspective of assists to turnover, they're pretty solid right now. It's still 12 versus 7 in terms of that department. Roughly at the half, it was a 1.14 assist turnover ratio, which is still pretty good. I really feel it's the shot making that they need to work on, getting more balanced, open looks within range.
Curiously, Mindoro has done this, outscoring Quezon by 7 in this quarter currently without JC Recto.
That's right.
Bangkale straight but too strong on that three-point attempt. Dario in stride, lines it up, no good. Another offensive rebound, no, it's Gamalinda coming away with the basketball.
Well, don't you just love the effort of a Bam Bam Gamalinde? Might not be scoring but contributing in other ways.
Jeco Bangkale off the bounce, pinalikan si Sedorifa, binabantayan ni John Abate. Nice shot fake, sidestep, libre si Montuano. Gumulong palabas,
Wow.
Sedorifa with a rebound.
One more. That's the shot.
Bam Bam, straight away free, too strong. Another offensive rebound by Mindoro.
Nice
Sedorifa,
pass.
napabayaan. Yes! Third triple of the third period from Joseph Sedorifa.
Might be the most important assist so far of Jeco Bangkale, only because it keeps that motor running from 3 para dito kay Joseph Sedorifa. Third triple in the third quarter for Joseph.
All 10 of his points coming in this quarter. Abate dumps it down low. Sedorifa. Gamalinda was late on the help. 2 points plus the foul from Sen Manzano.
And they have been so good at it. Speaking of the Quezon Huskers, getting the defense preoccupied, getting the defense confused, and making them come in late, which is primarily what happened there on Bam Gamalinda. Defense got preoccupied.
Play of the game brought to you by Sports Plus, the official sports book of the MPBL. Dapat pa si Sedorifa humelp dun.
Yeah, I think somebody needs to cover down low on that tag. Or it's either magpipeel off si Gamalinda dun sa tao niya to cover that roller, and then maybe si Dorifa or RJ will now cover the original guy of Gamalinda. But, sometimes when that happens, things happen so quick.
Exactly.
Na hindi ganun kadali yung read, eh. Not unless, oh my.
Manzano missing the free throw but got back his own miss. Recto kakapasok lang at siya pa yung mapipituhan ng foul. Sabi niya, bolang-bola.
He's asking for a challenge. Well, one, it's a major sin to be missing out a box out coming out of a free throw. You cannot allow the guy who shot the ball to be the one to rebound his miss.
Said Manzano has a chance to make up for that missed free throw. Only 23 years old. Sports Plus is the official sports book of the MPBL. Scan the QR code to play or visit www.sportsplus.ph. A 2025 SEA Games gold medalist. Lalo nung gold medal match against Thailand, naghabol sila nung first half. He was the one, especially when guys like Poy Eram fouled out. Siya yung lone center remaining dun sa squad nila eh. And he came up with huge plays down the stretch to hold off the host team and win that gold. Bangkale to Montuano. Manzano with another board.
Somebody's got to check on Diego Dario. Boy, he got in there real deep. Thankfully for Mindoro, didn't go to an attack. Good help.
Peeling off. Sedorifa locates JC Recto. Nasundutan sa likod. At mananatili ang possession sa Mindoro. But this is down to single digits, 54-45.
Hindi rin talaga bumitaw yung depensa ni JC Recto, eh, no? Talagang dinikitan din, eh. 1-4 low here on that inbound.
Recto. Nice pass inside. Just failed to finish. On the run, Pagaran takes flight and scores.
the full athleticism of Christian Pagaran. Right there on that slam.
Sedorifa forced up that shot. Time winding down in the third quarter. Diego Dario, pass off target. Throws the ball away. Babalik ang possession sa Mindoro. Fast break of the game brought to you by Sports Plus, the official sports book of the MPBL.
Here quickly on that fast break, you know that they're always gonna find advantages in the front court. They got numbers. They got a couple of your athletic guys able to spread in the open, and just an easy slam for Christian Pagaran.
2-second differential between shot and game clock. Caspe gives it up to Bangkale. Long three-point shot. Not sure about that one.
Yeah.
It gives enough time for Quezon. 5 seconds left. Smart play. Diego Dario switching gears. Crossover layup. Counted plus a foul.
Well, experienced and veteran point guard smarts para dito kay Diego Dario. He understood there was already a whistle, went to that gather, didn't put the ball up on the floor anymore, and went straight up to the cup for that finish. And now he's on the line for that bonus.
Diego Dario, very productive off the bench. Has 8 points. And Mindoro, B from Caspe, and that's gonna do it in the third. The Tamaraws got to within 7, 49-42. But a strong finishing kick by Quezon, 10-3 run, kaya lamang na sila ng 14 na puntos, 59-45.
White House steps back into the game. What a commitment anything. And what a steal. That way is going to even out the game. 89 in the final moment of the game, and they make magic. White House wins the game.
Win the game. Easy long with Sports Plus.
Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang pakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang pupunan.
Mindoro with Joseph Sedorifa coming alive in the third, scoreless in the first half, but coming away with 10 points, buoyed by those 3 booming triples to make this much more closer. But maganda yung pinakita niya, no, despite that faulty shooting in the first half.
Oh, totoo. He just brought in a lot of energy para dito sa sa Mindoro Tamaraws. He actually made 3 of the 5 makes of Mindoro in that quarter. We talked about the 3-point shooting being the primary stat that needs to be addressed by Mindoro. They did respond. They were able to score so much more. And probably, yeah, that's the best quarter that they've scored. They scored 20 points. They got 15 and 10 in the first and the second. And so all because they made their threes.
But they weren't able to do a good job closing out the third.
Correct.
Because they, from 49-41, they got outscored by 7 in the closing stretch by Quezon. Kaya naman bumalik ang labang sa 14 na puntos. You see the quarter scoring where the offense really stalled in the second quarter. Pero yung quarter number 1, dun na umalagpo yung Quezon eh.
Yeah.
That was part of that 19-1 run they had to create this separation. Joshua Yero, malakas.
And they're getting their good looks, but they're really just not making him earlier in the fourth quarter rather, for the Huskers.
7 seconds remaining. They've been successful with that empty side pick and roll. That time though, hindi nakakonvert si Macaloni. Fast break opportunity at hindi yan sasayangin ni RJ Ramirez.
At yung lakas ng sigaw na yun ni RJ Ramirez is how much he wanted that ball out in the open quickly, because way ahead of everyone else he was.
Cyrus Tabi gets it back from Will Macaloni. They go to the other side. Tabi short. Macaloni grabs offensive rebound number 13 for the Huskers. Help comes, and it's an offensive foul after ramming into the chest of Marion Magat. Fast break of the game brought to you by Sports Plus, the official sports book of the MPBL.
And Mario Magat quickly locating his buddy in RJ Ramirez, leaking out in the open. And that third quarter run really helped, open up a better fourth quarter para dito sa Mindoro Tamaraws. That bench woke up primarily because of Joseph Sideruifa coming off the bench.
RJ Ramirez, JJ Caspe, Marion Magat, JC Recto, and a guy that has been used sparingly until now, JV De La Cruz, making an appearance in the fourth quarter as Caspe got fouled by Christian Pagaran, earning himself 2 free throws.
Yeah, and I've always thought of that combo of JJ Caspe and JV De La Cruz pretty formidable. Number of years that we've seen them play alongside each other. Those two are tough to cover at the same time.
LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL.
I want to get a quick shout out to Jerel and Jillian Dayaday, and to their mom and pop, Jonathan and Janet Dayaday. Jonathan, of course, being my partner from one of the things that we're starting to build. Happy viewing sa inyo, Jerel. Ayan, binati na kita. Hindi kasi siya naniniwala when I went there the other night sa bahay nila. No way, hindi naman ikaw yun. I'll greet you.
Magandang gabi po sa inyo.
Good evening, the Aday family.
Abate, pinalik na sa loob ni Coach Eric Gonzalez. 11-point lead still for the Huskers.
Chin action.
Malanzala thought about that 3. 9 seconds left. Abate receives it.
Good
Another
defense.
offensive
Yeah.
foul. This time on Jolo Manansala.
Defense tightening up here for the Mindoro Tamaraws. A little bit of a slowdown to start the fourth quarter para dito sa Quezon Huskers. And the three-point shooting pretty cold in the third. 0 out of 3 in the third quarter.
Let's go to Gianna Llanes.
Execution of offense was a huge goal for Coach Benji this game, and he continues to express that. During their last huddle, he was pulling out all of the stops of creating new plays in order to efficiently circulate the ball. Foresight naman ang inexpress ni Bambam Gamalinda sa teammates niya. He said that they have to use their basketball knowledge to look ahead kasi nagiging late ang kanilang mga reaksyon. Everyone on the Mindoro bench knows that they still have a chance. They just can't get in their heads right now. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Gianna. Ang particular na pinag-uusapan ni Bambam, yung mga missed defensive assignments kanina, no? Lalo, ang sakit eh. Kasi nung nagkaaroon na sila ng run, nagkaroon sila ng mga defensive lapses as well. Giving opportunity, much like this one, Manansala soars and scores for Quezon.
Well, totoo naman yun. And pretty much the way that the Huskers have played here early in the fourth quarter, if you help, they will attack you off that help. Little pin down right there, right through the gut, a look away pass over to Jolo Manansala. Too easy for Jolo up that close. And you have your shooter that's very unselfish. That is what you get.
Increasing the gap to 13 points, forcing a timeout from the Mindoro Tamaraws.
Bawat bayan ay sumasaya kapag may labay nagkakaisa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball.
Sports Plus is the official sportsbook of the MPBL. Scan the QR code to play or visit www.sportsplus.ph. Second game of our Saturday triple header. Commissioner Emer Ureta, Zaldiri Lubit, and Rudy Distrito. More than 2 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. Quezon maintaining this 13-point lead, 61-48 over Mindoro.
Well, if there's one thing that the Mindoro Tamaraws have also done in the third quarters, they have forced itong Huskers into 5 turnovers while making their threes. So you got to continue to build on that.
Good look, just couldn't cash in. Joseph Sidorifa. Recto pass to Shackle Judel Fuentes. Abate misfiring from the outside. Recto with the rebound. JC to JV. Magat offering that screen. De La Cruz does not use it. Instead, he skips it to JJ Caspe. Attacks the paint. Doesn't get the whistle from our officials, leading to this opportunity for Quezon. Fuentes to Abate. Wise decision, not forcing up that shot.
But I like that JB De La Cruz actually gave a run out over to Judel Fuentes as he was free for that three.
8 seconds left. Skip pass, Abate. Over Joseph
Oh
Seduifa.
my.
It's good. Another 4-point play opportunity for John Abate.
He's done that twice in this game, and both of them, you know, getting that contact and still able to finish it. The first one might be a little bit more, well, a bit more difficult than this one. This one's clearly a closeout. You already had that ball released. That contact came in after that release. And once again, your unselfish primary scorer and shooter in Judel Fuentes using his gravity to draw defenders and leaving it up for a guy like Abate to finish the other end.
Can he complete it this time? Earlier, he missed a free throw.
Well, just the value of what the 3 points has done to the game of the Quezon Huskers. They were 0 out of 3 in the third quarter from beyond. And that's why Mindoro was able to come back, because it slowed down the points per possession of nitong Quezon Huskers.
Ramirez, nice hesitation dribble. Pull-up jumper, short. Quezon will slow things down, comfortably ahead. 16-point advantage. Approaching the 6-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Fuentes, nice screen by Macaloni, freeing up Fuentes for the trifecta.
Fuentes right now has been involved in the last 3 possessions of the Quezon Huskers. 2 on assists and 1 on a field goal make.
Ramirez. Seduifa kanina pa sumusubok sa 3. Masyado malakas. Biggest lead right now for Quezon, or actually their biggest lead earlier was at 21. Now at 19. Re-establishing order. Fuentes nakawala, pinasahan si Macaloni. Nice wing pass, libreng-libre si Caniete.
Oh,
Lista mo na galing sa 3. What a counter run by the Quezon Huskers.
After missing 3 3-point attempts in the third quarter, that stat line is once again piling up as another free look for Mike Cañete, this time on that left corner 3.
21-6 run for the Huskers, now establishing their biggest lead at 22 points, 70-48. We have a timeout by Mindoro.
Barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo. Iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin. Sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na. MPBL na. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino.
Back with us here inside the Inari Sports Arena in Pasig City for the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League Season 8. Ken Pangilinan, Coach Mike Perez, Miss Gianna Lianes at courtside. Bam Bam Gamalinda hits a free, but it's an uphill climb. 19 points ang kailangan pa nilang habulin dito. Lagpas kalahati na tayo sa ating fourth quarter. Bagat almost poking it free, but the recovery and the finish to the basket by Jolo Manansala. Jolo Manansala, sorry, third guy in double figures with 10.
I was gonna say, at the very least, if you're Mindoro now, you wanna finish this off strongly, so that you have some good momentum heading into the next game, because you lost out to the Gensan Warriors in the previous game. I'm not saying they're gonna lose this now yet, because there's still a lot of time. but at the very least, you get a good momentum. Because you only got out of a really good run, in my opinion, that second half of that game against Manila, and then that first quarter of that game against the Gensan Warriors. And it's been quarter by quarter that they've really either progressed or had a lot of difficulty. It was a good third quarter in this game, but the fourth, again, the control is back on the side of the Quezon Huskers, outscoring clearly itong Tamaraws.
And now, Quezon's very own Dom Vera making an appearance in what looks like an impending victory for the Quezon Huskers, but still a lot of time left.
Yeah.
Mindoro.
Well, they got to score quick. Do they have the guys? I think so, yes. But this defense is making it very difficult for them to find open guy. Again, that ball is sticking. It's not moving as it was moving earlier in the third. Good pass. There you go.
Pangalawang tres. Oops. Kakapasok lang ni Dom Vera. Being involved with in a skirmish with Bambam Gamalinda. Marion Magat. 3 3-pointers, 13 points, 8 rebounds. We have a review. This was on that rebounding battle. We got it tangled, Vera and Gamalinda. Laya. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Just two guys going at it.
And again, itong ginawang paghabol nitong Mindoro Tamaraws kanina dun sa third quarter, you have to go back. What did we do right in that particular quarter, and how can we sustain it, especially when we go up against the high tier teams? Because so far as performance against the South teams now, they have lost to the Gensan Warriors and they've lost to the Quezon Huskers. They are impending loss to the Quezon Huskers.
Lahat ng kanilang tatlong laro, including that win against Manila, they had a poor first half.
Yes, indeed.
Number 6, Bam Bam
Double foul on Gamalinda and Vera. Gamalinda fouls
that's
out.
his fifth. He had 4 in the third quarter.
He will finish with just 6 points and 3 rebounds. JC Recto, scoreless the entire game. Gab Banal inserted back into the lineup. Quezon with an 18-point lead. Coach Mike, I wouldn't be surprised if he's still watching at this juncture given the support that he has. But I want to give a quick shout out. Before that, extreme ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. I want to give a quick shout out to Quezon's team manager, Attorney Don Capunan. We all know the harrowing experience he has undergone. And he is well on his recovery. It's a good sign that he's able to walk and be with his family. Nakita ko sa kanyang post na lumabas pa sila ng kanyang mga kids. He is one of the best ambassadors here in the MPBL in terms of spreading basketball goodwill in the province of Quezon. And we wish and hope for his continuous speedy recovery. Shout out to you, Attorney Don.
Yeah, shout out to you, Attorney Don. Actually, when I saw that post by some of the Quezon players, that was the only time that I understood, what happened to Attorney Don Capunan. And I do agree with you that, he's a guy that I've always talked about, the culture that was built by the Quezon Huskers. And I certainly believe that he's a good part of that culture that was built by these Huskers team. Getting involved in the community of Quezon, helping out, building grassroots basketball programs. And just a clear testament to the work that they've done for this organization and for the community. So, be well, Attorney Don, and I hope to see you in the game soon.
76-54. Manansala dumps it off. Chris Lalata banks it in.
boy, when these teams meet up later in the playoffs or even in the play-in, they will have to be ready to make these adjustments. I think ang maganda dito is very early in the season na encounter mo na yung Quezon Huskers, and so you have time to make certain level of adjustments, and you've got so many games to test that on. I really feel that the Mindoro Tamaraws have performed at their best when they move that ball. They are quick to a decision. They're quick to a catch and shoot. They are faster to a paint touch, and really just giving it up to the guy that's open.
Free throws knocked down by Jeco Bancale, making this a 78-56 count. Last 2 minutes brought to you by Sports Plus, the official sports book of the MPBL. And Mindoro about to suffer another setback against Manila. They were down by 10, recovered nicely, scoring 69 points in the last 2 quarters. Pagdating nung laban nila against Gensan, pinag-usapan na natin, dikit pa nung first quarter. Pagdating nung sumunod na quarter, Coach Mike, doon na dumami yung turnovers. Puro ball turnovers kasi yun in that game against Gensan, which really broke the game wide open. And in this game, the execution na pinag-usapan na rin ni Gianna, no, na is something that Coach Benji has been harping on time and time again. And they were there. They were just down by 8 after falling behind by as many as 19 in the first half, but just could not sustain it. And credit Quezon for fighting back, regaining their bearings, executing nicely, and extending this big lead.
Yeah. And ako naman sa perspective ng Mindoro, I think you gotta look on the bright side. What have you done well? Well, you did well in the third quarter. Second is at least you're getting more assists than that of turnovers. They were actually very solid with only 8 turnovers to this game, counter to the 15 assists that they've done in this match. But what's really glaring right now, if you look at their points, I don't think they're going to get to more than 70 points at this point, as they are at 56 with almost a minute remaining. It's the scoring really that has gone down. From 109 against Manila, they score 70 in their loss against Gensan. Now you're only looking at maybe 60 points or even 62 at most maybe to end this match. And so, with all these scoring numbers going down, you got to figure out how some more you can generate points in a hurry para dito sa Mindoro Tamaraws.
On the flip side, as we would like to thank MANNY Pay, the digital wallet built for the community, they have a young, promising player in JC Recto. This is just a speed bump. After putting up huge numbers, coming away scoreless here. Pero marami pa silang pyesa, Coach Mike. This is, like you said, a long season. Maganda na ngayon pa lang nangyari. And they are all business in terms of them making a serious run in getting back to the playoffs a second consecutive time.
Yeah, no doubt about it, especially with how the support of Mayor Ina and Coach Benji has been very much evident dito sa Mindoro Tamaraws. I mean, the talent that you have, especially on the guard rotation, JJ Caspe, JB De La Cruz, JC Recto, RJ Ramirez, Jeco Bancale, and you couple that with this group of experienced big men in, Mark Montuano, Ken Bono, Marion Magat. Maybe there are certain pieces they want to add on later in the window, but definitely there is a huge potential on this lineup of Mindoro. Matter of fact, when the preseason came in, I was pretty big on the Mindoro Tamaraws.
Recto has to be careful here.
Yeah, you don't want to get suspension on the next game.
Yeah. And it's Vera again in the middle of that skirmish. Mark Montuano joining the fray, had some choice words as Tom Vera was walking away. Obviously, frustration has
Oo.
gotten on to a tipping point for Mindoro.
Oo.
Because it hasn't been easy in their first 3 games. They have lofty expectations given that breakthrough run they had in making their very first playoff appearance last season. Ganun naman yun eh. Once you get over one obstacle,
Yeah.
tumataas at tumataas yung expectations para sa inyong kupunan.
Agree. Again, katulad nga sinabi mo, this is just a road bump that they eventually will figure out. And ang kagandahan nito, you encountered this in your first 3 games. And you understand kung ano yung mga kailangan i-adjust. Kesa naman sa huli mo na, malalaman. Ano? And that's the beauty of this, 9-10 month season that we have. The more games that you play, players are going to get better. Players are going to understand the system all the more. And then eventually, they'll be ripe when that playoff season comes.
At dito pumapasok yung sinasabi ni Coach Vic Igasiano na there's peaks and valleys to a long season like here in the MPBL. It's very important on where that peak happens because it's such a long grind out season. Like for example, a team like Pangasinan who struggled mightily for the entire regular season, dropped all the way to the play-in, number 7, but peaked at the right time in the play-in, in the playoffs, got all the way to the North Division Finals. And Mindoro could take something out of that given that isa din sila sa pwedeng maging threat sa South Division.
No pun intended, but you definitely hit it on the head. Yeah, exacto mismo. You have to peak at the right time, but you have to make adjustments.
Gombera, his second technical foul on number 5, JC Recto for second motion.
So that's a technical now on JC Recto, and as well as
Unsportsmanlike foul.
unsportsmanlike
Kay Dom Vera.
kay Dom Vera. And now that you mentioned the name of Coach Vic Igasiano, at nabati ko rin yung kapatid niya last time. Coach Vic, happy viewing. Ang galing kumanta niya ni Coach Vic. I remember this one time we went to Alabang, and we were obviously talking about basketball, and we were doing some video call on the side. And that time that I had that conversation with him alongside his brother Coach Pau and Coach James Tolentino, who now is the athletic director of Sabeda Alabang. You just love being around basketball minds in that situation. And me, talagang I was just enjoying that opportunity.
JC Recto missing the front end of his free throws. It's been that type of a night for the up-and-coming star for Mindoro. Sabi sa'yo tama hinala ko nanonood si Attorney Don Capunan.
Oo. Ay, talaga?
Oh!
Attorney Don, we miss you, sir.
And we're looking forward to that very first home game of the season for Quezon.
Yeah. We sincerely miss you, Attorney Don. Hope to see you back in the games.
Shot clock winding down. Bangkale heaves it. There's a shot clock violation against the Tamaraws.
With just 7 more seconds left, this is, they have what, 9 turnovers? This is the least turnovers that they've committed in all of the 3 games that they've had. They had 10 and 20. And now you go down 9. Something to build on. Katulad ng na-mention ko.
And that concludes our game between 2 South Division teams eyeing the playoffs once again. Quezon Huskers, more importantly, have championship aspirations, and they built on that with this victory tonight over an outgunned Mindoro Tamaraw squad. And a lot of heroes for Quezon. Our best player of the game, though, is brought to you by Sports Plus, the official sportsbook of the MPBL. Quietly, a double-double performance para dito kay Mike Cañete. 12 points and 12 rebounds.
Yeah, and you like that he's very, involved on the offensive end with the usage rate of roughly 26%. He gets himself involved. in the right situations, making it, easier for them on the offensive end of the floor for the Huskers.
Final score, 60 for the Mindoro Tamaraws, 81 for the 2-0 Quezon Huskers. Let's go courtside, Bujiana.
Congratulations to our best player of the game, Michael Cañete, with a double-double performance. Mike, binanggit mo sa akin kanina na ang bago para sa'yo dito sa Quezon ay napakadetalyado talaga nila sa lahat. Paano naman ito nakakatulong para sa improvement mo bilang isang player?
Lahat talaga kami sa Quezon, nakikinig sa lahat ng coach, sa management para makuha namin yung anong yung pinapagawa ng mga boss namin. Lahat ng mga coach din namin.
Sabi mo naman kanina na ang pinaka-role mo sa team ay maging isang leader. Kasama si Will at kasama si Gab. Kita ko sa bench talagang you also look up to Will and Gab. Paano nila napupush ikaw?
Ayun lang, nagtutulungan lang talaga kami. Siyempre kami lang yung kumaga kuya nila, mas maraming nakakabata. So magiging leader lang din kami sa kanila.
Mike, I'm sure maraming proud na proud sa inyo ngayon. Sino ang gusto mong pasalamatan?
Nagpapasalamat kami sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa Quezon Huskers, lalo-lalo na kay Don, Attorney Don. Thank you, Governor Helen Tan, Boss RD, Kong Mike, Doc Kim, Mayor Ralph Lim, at salamat rin po sa Queen Margaret Hotel, Buffalo Wings and Things, Aboy, Tees Power, and Jack Liner. At sa lahat po ng nanonood sa pamilya ko sa Davao, yung mama at papa ko, yung partner ko si Princess, yung anak ko si James at si Micah, yung kapatid ko, at lahat ng nanonood sa Davao. Thank you po.
Congratulations to our best player of the game, Michael Cañete of the Quezon Huskers. Our player of the game is brought to you by Sports Plus, the official sportsbook of the MPBL. Back to you, Ken and Mike.
From Leon Garcia, Davao City, Mike Cañete helping Quezon to this victory over Mindoro. Up next, labanan naman sa Norte ang ating matutunghayan, and more importantly, the debut of Pasig City going up against the Parañaque Patriots. Keep it locked here in our 8th season of the MPBL. Don't go away.
MPBL na, yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. Sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL, Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League.